In 1995, a young black father cradled 5 newborns, abandoned by his wife in a town that judged his every step. Whispers of betrayal hid a darker secret, buried for decades. 30 years later, a truth so shocking surfaced, it shook the world. What drove her to vanish? What injustice lay unspoken? Join us. Hit like, subscribe, and share to unravel this tale of prejudice and pain. Will you face the truth that stunned millions? In 1995, Marcus Green lived a quiet life in a small Ohio town. A factory worker with a warm smile, he poured his heart into his new family, his wife, Sarah, and their newborn quintuplets. Each evening, he'd cradle his babies, dreaming of their future in a world he hoped would be kind. The town, mostly white, cast sidelong glances at Marcus, but he shrugged them off, trusting hard work would earn respect. Yet, beneath the surface, whispers grew about his marriage, his race, his place. One night, Sarah was gone, leaving only a note. Marcus stood frozen, 5 crying infants in his arms. Something wasn't right. The truth was waiting. Marcus Green's world unraveled the night Sarah vanished. The note she left was cold, scrawled in haste. "I can't do this." 5 cribs lined their small living room, each holding a tiny life that now depended on him alone. The Ohio town, with its tidy lawns and curious eyes, seemed to close in. Neighbors whispered as Marcus pushed a stroller built for 1, now jury-rigged for 5. "Poor man," they'd say, but their pity carried an edge. At the factory, coworkers grew distant. A foreman muttered, "You sure you can handle all that?" Marcus felt the sting, not of the question, but the assumption behind it. He was a black man in a white town, and now a single father of quintuplets. The weight was crushing. He threw himself into work, rising before dawn to feed, change, and soothe his babies. But the town's gaze grew sharper. A grocery store clerk followed him down aisles, eyeing his cart as if he'd stolen the formula he paid for. At church, where he sought solace, a deacon suggested his children might be better off elsewhere. Marcus clenched his jaw, hiding his anger. He needed this community, or so he thought. Then came the letter from the landlord, complaints about noise and concerns about his family. Move out, it implied, or face consequences. Marcus's heart pounded. Was it the crying babies, or something deeper? He began to notice patterns. The way police cars lingered near his house, the way his name was left off shift schedules at work. One evening, a knock at the door startled him. 2 men in suits stood there, their faces stern. "We need to talk about your kids," one said, his tone flat but heavy with intent. Marcus's throat tightened. Were they from social services? Had someone reported him? The babies wailed in the background, and he felt the walls closing in. He'd heard stories of families torn apart, of children taken for reasons that didn't add up. His mind raced. Sarah's disappearance, the town's coldness, the whispers that followed him. Were they all connected? The men stepped inside, their eyes scanning the modest home. "We've had calls," the other said, his voice low. "About your situation." Marcus's pulse hammered. He thought of his children, asleep in their cribs, unaware of the storm brewing around them. He'd fought to keep them fed, clothed, loved. But now he sensed a threat he couldn't name. Was it his race? His struggle? Or something Sarah knew, something she'd hidden in that note? The men exchanged a glance, and one pulled out a folder. "There's something you need to see," he said. Marcus froze. What secret had been buried all these years? And why did it feel like the town itself was turning against him? Marcus Green's hands trembled as he opened the folder the men thrust toward him. Inside was a photograph, Sarah, his vanished wife, smiling beside a man he didn't recognize, her face unburdened, free. The caption read, 1995 Community Fund Gala. His stomach churned. The men's voices cut through the haze. She didn't just leave Marcus. She was pushed out. His eyes locked on theirs, confusion giving way to dread. They handed him a letter, yellowed with age, signed by town council members. It demanded Sarah leave or face consequences for their mixed-race family. Marcus's breath caught. The town hadn't just whispered. It had conspired. His mind flashed to the years of sidelong glances, the slurs masked as jokes, the jobs that slipped away. The babies' cries echoed from the next room, each one a reminder of the life he'd fought to build. "Why now?" he choked out. The taller man leaned in, his voice low. "Someone's talking. A witness. They're ready to expose it all." Marcus's heart pounded. The town's elite, church leaders, factory bosses, even the mayor had known. They'd driven Sarah away, fearing her children, his children, would taint their perfect community. Rage surged, but so did fear. If he spoke out, what would they do to his family now? He clutched the letter, its words searing. "Your kind doesn't belong here." The room spun. He saw his babies' faces, their future hanging on his next move. Would he stay silent, protecting them from this venomous town? Or would he fight, risking everything? The men waited, their eyes searching his. Outside, the night was still, but Marcus felt a storm breaking inside him. 30 years of lies, of pain, of a town's quiet hatred crashed down. The truth wasn't just about Sarah. It was about every family like his, erased by prejudice. He stood, fists clenched, the folder shaking in his grip. Could he bring down the powerful who'd shattered his life? Marcus Green chose to fight. Clutching the damning letter, he shared its truth with a local reporter, a woman unafraid to challenge the town's powerful. The story broke. Headlines screamed of the 1995 conspiracy that drove Sarah away, exposing a town's calculated racism. The council members, now aging, faced scrutiny. Some resigned, others hid. Marcus's quintuplets, now grown, stood by him as the community fractured. Some apologized, others doubled down. He moved his family to a new city, seeking peace, but the scars remained. The pain of Sarah's absence, the weight of raising 5 children under prejudice's shadow, never faded. Yet, Marcus found purpose, speaking at schools, sharing his story to teach compassion. This wasn't just Marcus's battle. It was a mirror to countless lives crushed by silent bigotry, families judged, futures stolen, all for the color of their skin. In the USA, UK, Canada, the 65-plus generation saw this story unfold in their time, some complicit, others unaware. Marcus's courage forced a reckoning. Prejudice thrives in silence, but truth can shatter it. His children thrived, doctors, teachers, artists, proof that love could outlast hate. But the cost was heavy. Sarah never returned. Her fate remains a mystery, a wound unhealed. This story lingers because it's not over. Every day, someone faces that same cold stare, that same whispered judgment. Will we let history repeat, or will we speak up? Like, subscribe, and share Marcus's story, because change begins when we refuse to stay silent. How many more families must break before we build a world that sees them?